Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Um, this is going to be what I call my director's cut of the Grand Collectibles tour. The one I shot at Christmas, it was shot at night time, and I felt I had some shadow issues and some flare issues or glare issues. So I decided to have another crack at it, but this one's been shot in the daytime. So as I said when I first did the Christmas bit, I collect NECA, McFarlane's, Marvel Legends and Black Series Star Wars, and I have a huge DVD collection, which in that collection I have a film called 40-Year-Old Virgin starring Steve Carell. So in that he plays a guy who has a vintage toy collection, and it spreads throughout his home, which is what my collection is. I've got stuff in the bedroom, stuff in the kitchen and stuff in the living room, which you're about to see. So let's crack on. And there's Batman at the front, voiced by Kevin Conroy, who's sadly no longer with us. He was a great voice for Batman. And then you see John Stewart, Green Lantern. And then on that side, you got Superman. And I love these body types. At the back, you got Flash. Yeah, as I said, I love these body types. I think they're top heavy, so they're a bit fiddly to pose, but they do look so good. And one more thing just before I leave this display, as they're going to come towards Flash. And that's the diorama actually for that Batman figure there. But I put Flash there because I thought the effect of this lightning was better on him. So that's why I've done that. Forgive my finger there. So I just pan around the room. That's kind of what you're looking at. Come back to that guy, Kingdom Come Superman. Read the comic, loved it. I hope one day someone like Zack Snyder would make a live action picture, but he's pretty awesome. He's my second favourite Superman, my first being my Christopher Reeve Superman, but he is unusual. And then coming down to there, we've got Batman, Ben Affleck. Love that figure. And across there, we've got Bruce Wayne, Adam West 66 Batman, like him. Hopefully Todd McFarlane will release the Robin for this. Adam West played Batman and Robin was played by Burt Ward. And then over here we've got my Bane figure, my coated version. I've got the other version downstairs. Coming down, we've got, let's see if I can get a good one of him, bit wobbly. That's it. Harrison Ford, as he appeared in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Not a bad likeness. And down there we've got Batman, Nightmare Batman. I like him with the goggles down actually. I know it doesn't happen in the film, but they obviously did at some point have them down, and I've reposed him. And I've got Aquaman. Love him. I love that colour coordination of his suit and the throne. And then below him we got my movie version of Godzilla with Howard Stark or Tony Stark diorama at the back. So coming up the tower, that's Indiana Jones again, reposed. And then I'll pull it up to Superman and pause it for the next shot. Oops. Welcome back. That's McFarlane's release of John Wick. Not bad. And he's got a McFarlane's weapon there from the accessory pack. I've got 2 of those packs because I like to change weapons around on figures like this. Down below we've got Hank Pym, Beast from the X-Men world, and then below that we've got Mr. Incredible. Let's just get a better one there. And then below that we've got Mr. Freeze. Now both of these guys, got a bit of light flare there. Yeah, both of these guys, that's better. The Mr. Incredible voice was done by Craig T. Nelson, who was the father figure in Steven Spielberg's Poltergeist. And the voice of Mr. Freeze there was done by Samuel L. Jackson. And I'm after the rest of them, but at the moment it's about finance and availability of those figures. There's another one of Mr. Beast there, and I'm going to pause it again, take it to another section in the bedroom. And this is the next bit. All these have been reposed and changed around, and I'll come into Captain America first. I like that, Mr. Captain America. Then we've got Iron Man, and there's his head sculpt. Oh, and there's Captain America's head sculpt. Then we come over to Blade. Love that pose. Not sure if that's supposed to be Wesley Snipes, but it's in the ballpark for me. And I've put in his hands a pair of weapons from my accessory pack, because having watched the film, he does have a pair of weapons similar to the ones this one's got, so I thought it looked good. And there's the weapons he actually came with. Vampire killing weapons. But that's Blade. Then we'll come over to the Hulk. I've just reposed him. I put in these hands because the hands are at the bottom there with the other head sculpt. Changed out the head sculpt, love that. I love that Hulk. And then you've got Hydra Stomper there, designed by Howard Stark, Tony Stark's father. Coming across to Red Skull from Captain America, the First Avenger. This is Domino, great little figure from Deadpool 2, and of course there's Deadpool all tooled up, and I've reposed him as well. Yeah, like that. And with my collection, I've been really lucky with all of these figures and the ones you'll see. I usually fight buyer's fever and hold off on buying them straight away, even though I really want them. And in the end they drop, so 2/3 of my collection is probably less than half price or half price, which I really appreciate because I can get other figures. But I'm going to come back out of this and pause it and take you to the next bit. Not bad. So here we are. Now, when you saw the Christmas tour, these guys were outside of the Batmobile, the tumbler, but I thought I'd put them in for the director's cut. Just coming close on Lucius Fox, holding a grappling gun and a remote control, played by Morgan Freeman. And then you've got Christian Bale there, unmasked Bruce Wayne. I like that effect. And this is tumbler used to be over £100, I think. Let's come up here. That's not a bad shot. But I held off and I waited nearly a year and it dropped down to 60. So I'm really pleased. Yeah, not bad. Well, I used to have my single-seater Michael Keaton Batmobile, but that's downstairs. That used to be up here, and that dropped down to 65 quid. So what I'll do is I'll close the cockpit. And you'll see the whole thing. And at that level, I think that Batmobile, the tumbler, downstairs, upstairs, I think that's good value for money. £60 on that one and 65 on my other one. So I'm going to pause it again. It's going to get a nice shot. Yeah, that's about right. And I'll take you out onto the landing. So here we are on the landing, and there in front of you you'll see my favourite builder figure, the Bat from the Batman Forever wave. I love that figure. And then we'll come down to my favourite Ben Affleck Batman, Armoured Batman from the Justice League. I've reposed him like that. And then we've got Flash from the Flash movie, like that pose. And then we've got Aquaman in his stealth suit from Aquaman 2. He's been reposed. Coming across down to this section, that's Cyborg, I'm set to repose him again. He's been like that for a while. But I have reposed Wonder Woman. I like that sculpt. Very much like Gal Gadot. Yeah. That's good. So, being this is a director's cut, I'm going to take you to this section which you didn't see before at Christmas. I'll pan it round and you'll see that. Now I've got a huge DVD collection of all sorts, and part of that is I've got most of what they've released of Doctor Who on DVD, because I love Doctor Who. And down there you'll see, I think he's the 11th Doctor, played by Matt Smith, and I liked him. He had some good stories. Then you've got a Sultaran, who's an enemy of Doctor Who, an Ice Warrior. He appeared in the 70s originally, and then he came back in the 2000s, but he's not necessarily an enemy of Doctor Who. And then that's I think it's a Solarian. And then there's my TARDIS, time and relative dimension in space. And you can press a button on that where you hear all the TARDIS sounds. There's my Daleks, a Dalek candy tin, and I'll leave it on that shot and we'll go to the kitchen area. Let's get a better shot. Yeah, see you downstairs. Hi there. So we're back in the big room, or the kitchen should I say, and we're coming close to King Kong. I will be reposing this guy in the next few weeks with his other head sculpt, but I love him. He's a NECA release, and this is the Skull Island version of him. The other release is a bit darker, and it's the kind of Empire State Building version of him. So that's King Kong. I might as well pan around the kitchen, because my friend said, oh, I forgot about that. That crown was given to me by my mate's daughter, Sahara. She's a Burger King person, but I'm not. I like to look after my body. But yeah, I just pan around that room. Look at that head sculpt. Can't wait to show you the other one. So coming out, bit of snow out there, kind of picturesque. There's the other section we'll be looking at. Yep, and that's my newly acquired freebie, my Hogwarts poster. So we come down to this section. To that one, which I really love. Within my posing, I like to create little scenarios like this. Spider-Man taking on Dr. Octopus, Rhino and Venom. And I really like that. I've changed the order of these figures and posed a few differently. I won't name them all because I did that at Christmas. I'll try and get you some shots. There's Silver Surfer at the back. Wolverine, he's been reposed. Like his pose. And there's Deadpool. He's been reposed. There's his mask. And Falcon there, he's been reposed. Just in case you don't know why I say reposed, it's because whenever you see them last, they'll probably be in a different pose, and then I just say from the last time you saw them, if you don't remember, they've been reposed, if that makes any sense. That's Raven, I love that Raven figure. Or Mystique. Hawkeye. Was going to repose him, but I will get around to it and put that on camera. Yeah. So, on that note, I'm going to leave it on that shot, which I really love, and we'll go into the living room area. Welcome back. Now I had to get that shot. Now it looks weird, but I wanted to see sort of the length of the car, but I'm in a weird angle, so I'm going to come around the front, so excuse this, and you'll see the Batmobile, my favourite, one of the two vehicles I have. And I'm going to reshoot this one in the next couple of weeks. This was 65 quid. And as I said before, I think the shiny version sits well in my collection. I know there's talk about it's matte, but I watched the film recently. I've watched it hundreds of times. And when you see it shot, it's normally in the dark, so it looks matte anyway. And when the street lights hit it, it looks shiny. And when I've looked on YouTube, it tends to be shown as it was, shiny. So I personally would stick with this car anyway. But next to that, I've reposed Michael Keaton Batman, flared out his cape. And as I said before, this is the best head sculpt of Michael Keaton at this level by McFarlane. I like all his Batman releases of this figure, Michael Keaton Batman, but the head sculpts are not the same. You see aspects of him, but when you get to this one, this is completely Michael Keaton from all sides. And I love it. And he looks great in the car. So I'm going to reshoot all that in this new year. We'll go down below and you'll see Superman there from Dark Knight Returns. He's been reposed. Like that. And then I'll come across and you'll see Armored Batman from Dark Knight Returns. There he is. Like that figure. He's got McFarlane's weapon in his hand. But any weapon in Batman's hand always looks good. And then we'll come across to Bloodsport, and that's the actor Idris Elba. Love that. And then we'll come across to John Cena. Oops, sorry about that. Peacemaker. Come back up onto the Batmobile as I make my way to this section. Ant-Man and Wasp. And the head sculpts are good for these as well. I'm going to get them on camera and you'll see all that. But I'll pause it again and take you to the next section. Let's just hold that in position. So this is my Dark Knight Returns wave. you saw Superman and Armoured Batman on the other side of the room, and this is my Joker, who I've recently reposed. I love posing this figure. And then we've got Carrie Kelly. And then we've got Mutant Leader. He's been reposed. And Batman has been reposed. The horse has been changed to a different direction. Love that. They keep saying they wanted him bigger, but if you'd have made him bigger, then the horse would have to be bigger, and it looked kind of weird. I think this is the right scale, especially when I've got him with this guy, who's not a McFarlane's release, but he's kind of to scale and it kind of works. And then there's my John Constantine. And apparently Keanu Reeves is going to do the role again. So that's that section. But I might take this section off soon. I was thinking of putting my Predators up there. We'll have to think about it. So I'm going to pause it again so I can get a better shot. So this is the 79 release of Alien as he appeared in the film. I just reposed him. He's holding a Predator helmet. And the actor who played him in the film was Kevin Peter Hall, who also went on to play the Predator. Sadly, he's no longer with us. He did a film called Harry and the Hendersons with John Lithgow about Bigfoot, but without a doubt for me, him playing the alien and the Predator is something that can't be beaten. So we'll come down to that section, and that's just my Jerry Anderson section. I'm after more vehicles, and I won't dwell on this Thunderbird 1, 2, 3 and 4. We're going to come down to Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales, and there's my other Thunderbirds vehicle, Stingray. So I'm going to come back up to the top and pause it on Alien. Get a close up on that. I like that pose. Yeah, that's all right. And come to another section. Just got to not drop the camera. So this is the same lot you saw last time. And there's Magneto's head sculpt. I've just made Cyclops tilt his head back more. So these guys, I won't name them all because you've heard it all on the Christmas tour. Like Doctor Strange. Good likeness. So we'll come down to Robert Pattinson Batman Wave. He's been reposed. Love that figure. Catwoman. The Bat Cycle's being pushed forward. Penguin's being pushed back. Let me see if I can stop this wobbling. Yeah, that's better. There's Riddler. Well, it could be his henchman because they were all dressed the same in the film. I think they started shooting on the second Batman film. And Penguin's still the same way as he was before, but watch the series. Colin Farrell as the Penguin is excellent. I like the way them two look together. So we'll come down to my Fantastic Four wave. And there's Silver Surfer. I've reposed him, put the fists on instead of the palm hands, put some energy effects on there from another figure. There's Sue Storm. The Thing at the back, Ben Grimm. Reed Richards as Mr. Fantastic. And Dr. Doom. And Johnny Storm. That's the Human Torch. So I'm just going to be a bit of a wobbling because I've got to get down lower. And this is, I'll call it my Spider-Man wave. They're all in the Spider-Man world. Reposed Daredevil. Reposed Electra Nanchos. Pulled a mask down so you can see her lips, which is a nice feature on this figure. Just showing you the lot at the back. And coming out of that, we're going down to the Wakanda Forever wave. Black Panther. Suri, Eric Killmonger. And I reposed classic Black Panther. And then you'll see that helmet, I'll put that back on her. She didn't have that before. And Ironheart the same, put helmet back on her. Still reminds me of a Transformer. But it's all the same still. I do enjoy these. And then finally, down to these guys. Ron Perlman Hellboy, Robocop, the T-800 at the back, and my favourite guy, Judge Dredd. Is Dreadman truly dread? So yeah, I have to pause the camera again and just bring it back up to this level. Fantastic Four level. And I'll see you in a sec. So, we're on top of this unit, looking at Spawn. Great little figure. And we got Deathstroke. I love the simplicity of him. And that's the McFarlane's weapon in his hand. There's Lobo. Apparently Jason Momoa is playing him. Let's go to Loki. And there's your Thor. And I've come to Flash last because I've reposed him. And I love that figure. I love the colour of him, the balance of him. But apparently, according to the backstory, he's not a good guy. But I got him for 11 quid and he's normally about 29. And I bought him mainly for that head sculpt because it reminded me of Nightmare Flash in the Justice League film. And I like the fact that you can pose your flashes so you can get 1 foot off the ground, which is a nice dynamic. Right, we'll come down to this section. Star Wars and Mandalorian. Boba Fett has been reposed. Obi-Wan Kenobi's been reposed. I like to try and get the mysterious Jedi hood effect, which is not easy because they're not wide capes. You have to kind of dampen your fingers to get a crease in that hood so you can get the right look. But I managed to get there. So we come down to this section. Bit of light glare there, sorry about that, and finger pump my thumb. But there's Luke, reposed. I'm trying to get these Jedi at the back. That's the best shot I can get, unfortunately. But there's that mysterious Jedi hood look. That's not too bad. Then we've got Darth Maul. And then the Emperor. Now I've reposed him. Sorry about the glare, but I reposed him. He kind of looks better there. And I like him with the lightsaber. I've seen the Revenge of the Sith version where he's got a lightsaber, but the iconic black look is my thing. Then we come down to this section. Mandalorian. There's Rogue One there. And at the back there's Finn in the Star Base Killer suit as it's listed on the box. And then we'll come along to there. This hasn't changed out. Harley Quinn, I changed her slightly. And then we come up onto this section, and Batman, I'm trying to get him in there. Not too much glare there. Yeah, he's been posed to sit on one knee. He's still got that sticky bomb gun which came off the unmasked Batman upstairs, but I preferred him to have the gun. That's not bad. Again, sorry about the glare. Nothing else has changed. And then we'll come up onto this section where you see Aquaman. And it's still the same. So I'm gonna pause it there and take you to the next section. Find a way to hold the camera without it wobbling. So I wanted to start on these two because I released some footage recently on the channel. And there's my Christmas present to myself, my Alpha Predator. And there's Feral Predator, like that shot. That's what I think about my poses. And I sit at this level when I'm watching TV, so I kind of see them from this perspective. But yeah, and then at the back, the Assassin Predator, I'm going to reshoot him and repose him and talk about him again now the camera's sorted. And he's got another head sculpt. That's not bad, that section. And then I come across to my favourite Superman, Christopher Reeve. I'll be reshooting him and posing him, but I really like that. And I've reposed Mr. Freeze. And I've reposed Azrael fighting Batman, and I've reposed Batman himself. That's not a bad angle. Not a bad dynamic. Tim Drake in the background looking on. Yeah. Oh, and I've reposed Supergirl. Superman. Shazam, Billy Batson, and I've reposed Martian Manhunter and the Flash. I've reposed him, Car Runner. Let's just take it over the top. Sorry about my finger, it comes into play every now and again. Black Adam, Hawkman. Really like Hawkman. And there's these two guys battling it out. Like I said, I like to create these little scenarios within the poses. Atom. Simple character in its look, but I like it. And my favourite character in the Black Adam movie is Dr. Fate, and I put an energy effect on him. Just getting a bird's eye view. Commissioner Gordon there, or Lieutenant James Gordon. And the Joker. I like that figure as well, actually. Darkseid. Lex Luthor Darkseid in the power suit. Just want to look at that Predator there because I didn't get in on him. Right, let's see if I can show it from afar. Sort of that's what it looks like when I'm sitting on my settee, but as I say, I'm on the ground a lot, so you'll see them at a better level. But I'm going to pause it and finish on the last segment. So this is the last segment then, and when I did the Christmas tour, this is how it ended with these guys, but I've reposed them all, changed them around. And let's come straight to Batman, played by Val Kilmer. And I actually think next to the Michael Keaton one that I was talking about, this is the second best, because I do think this looks like Val Kilmer. And I watched the film not long ago, but that's excellent. Can't beat that. And I like the suit. And I never originally bought this figure. I was going for, we'll come to him, Jim Carrey, because that's what I really wanted, and I still like him. I could get the other version, but I don't know, the other version, white one, didn't really grab me like this. It's all Jim Carrey there. But then, as I say, coming back to Batman, just thought he was awesome as well. In fact, they're all awesome. Even Tommy Lee Jones there. I think the likeness is better than it looked on the internet when I was looking at it. So yeah. And then not forgetting Chris O'Donnell, Robin, reposed. So there. That's the tour over with, the director's cut. I think overall, I feel better about this one. Not too much glare or shadow. And I'll say, stay tuned to the channel in the months and weeks to come or whatever, because I'll be putting up stuff. All these figures you've seen, you'll get to see them again reposed, and I'll talk a little bit more about them and waffle on about the current state of affairs in the sci-fi world, Marvel, DC, whatever. But I say thanks for watching. Please come back to the channel. I'm coming close to Batman played by Val Kilmer. As I said before, sad that he's no longer with us, but he was a good Batman. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. There.